What up, though? Welcome to Woman Crush. Every day we discuss queer media, especially when it's black and especially when it's woman. I'm your host, Tang B, aka Sean B. Scribe.
And I'm your host, Allison, aka Al Woo.
And today we are going to discuss Yellowjackets, Season 1, Episode 9.
Yes, but before we get into that, make sure you go ahead and subscribe.
Definitely.
Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're tuned in with us and checking out all the content that we're dropping weekly. Sometimes like in the middle of the week. You know,
we got bonus episodes.
You feel me? So, yeah, if you're interested in queer content that focuses on black women across the spectrum of presentation, that's what we talk about.
Boom.
Yeah. So, we're talking about this show because, I mean, we've been talking about a whole bunch of shows. And this one kind of slipped in the cracks.
Yeah.
We didn't know this was coming, but when we ended up finding that there was a black queer woman on Yellowjackets, on the show on Showtime, we're like, let's check it out.
Yes, it actually dropped at the same time that 20s dropped.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay,
well,
we were consumed.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were late catching up, but now we're here, and there are just 2 episodes left of the season.
Two episodes? I think we're on the... Well, I mean, this is episode 9.
And then 10 is the finale. Okay. So that's it. So this is it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll talk about episode 9, but first we'll kind of give you like a recap of what's happened so far.
Yes. Okay. So essentially the story is about a plane that was carrying a high school girls soccer team to a national championship.
Very gay already.
You know. But this plane crashes, and we find out that they end up having to survive in the wilderness for the next 18 months, or at least the folks who survived the plane crash, because already folks died.
Yeah.
In this story, we have, there are 3 dudes on the trip. There is Ben, who is the coach, who we later find out is gay. There is Travis, who is the son, I think like the assistant coach of the team, who is kind of like smashing Nat, who is one of the characters that we end up following later in the series.
Yeah.
Javi is his little brother.
Well, he really doesn't quite smash Nat.
Well,
but he wants to.
Yeah. Boom. My bad. Javi is Travis's younger brother. He's like barely in the show, which I don't really understand.
Yeah, he's just like the kid who's there. Maybe they'll bring him in season 2.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, he's there. So we have Nat, who I talked about a little bit before. She's this rebel who's in love with Travis, and she's also a big fan of drugs. We have Misty, who is like this awkward girl. She
tries too hard.
Yeah, she's doing weird shit the whole time, from on the plane to 25 years later as an adult. We got to keep our eye on Misty. But yeah, there's Misty. Oh, she has a crush on the coach. Who else? We have Lottie. Lottie is this like weird witch woman who is like putting hexes on people or like seeing weird shit. I don't know. I really don't have a lot of time for Lottie shit, but Lottie's one of the characters. Another one is Laura Lee. She's this super Christian girl who ends up dying in a second plane crash.
Sorry.
Mid-season. Very unfortunate.
Devastating.
We have Jackie, who is Shauna's best friend. And yeah, Jackie is doing a whole lot of weird things too. I don't really fully understand all of the levels of Jackie, but she has this boyfriend who is actually sleeping with her best friend, Shauna, and Shauna is now in the wilderness pregnant with Jeff's baby.
It's like the worst that could be.
Yeah, really, really bad situation. So she, of course she had been hiding this from her best friend, but she ends up finding out because she's reading her diary. Who else is out here? We have Van, who is Taissa's boo, and she survived this wolf attack, which was very crazy, fucked her face all up, but she's like in this romantic relationship with, drumroll, Taissa.
Yes.
Now, Taissa is the character that we are watching this show for. This is our black queer character. Like I said before, we kind of go back and forth between where we are in time, so we go and see them in the 90s. This show is taking place, they're in high school in the 90s. So like, we're hearing all these 90s music and
it's
like
wonderful.
Soundtrack. It is kind of fun. But then we flash forward to right now, and folks are dealing with a lot of issues. So what the big issue is, We have Misty, Nat, Taissa, and Shauna are being blackmailed for $50,000. And everybody wants to know what happened to the girls on this plane. How did they survive? What did they do? Like, people are constantly hounding them for this story. So it's a whole bunch of extra little things going on. Travis is murdered, and so there's also this weird murder mystery that's going on. Misty is holding people hostage.
She crazy.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of story, but it's really fun. And I think I tried to go through the whole, like, up till episode 9.
And my favorite part is Taissa has this wife, Simone, and this son, Sammy. But Taissa is, like, sleepwalking and sleeping in trees and letting her dog loose and all kind of things that she doesn't know she's doing. And now her son is like, there's a bad lady.
Yeah. Everybody who was, who survived this plane crash is hella traumatized.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with that.
Yeah.
And we're also dealing with PTSD.
But it's a fun show.
It is. It really is. I mean, if you're in, like, it's kind of creepy, but then it's kind of, like, not creepy. And I kind of, it's actually perfect for me because I don't like shows that go off the deep end. Like, I'm not a fan of, like, real horror shows, but this show kind of has those scary elements.
Yeah.
But to me, doesn't take it too far. So if you're a person like me,
we haven't seen where it's gonna go yet.
It might go crazy.
It might go crazy,
but I hope not. Please don't scare me away because I'm having a good time so far.
Well, it did get a little while in episode 9. So for what happened in that episode, Shauna thinks that her side piece is the one who's blackmailing her. So she goes to his house and stabs him after she finds that he has one book on her. She goes home and tells her husband, and he's like, wait, what? And she's like, well, I thought you were cheating on me. Then I started cheating on you. Then I killed him. And, well, she didn't say she killed him. She said, I stabbed him and then he died. To which her husband says, like, okay, so you killed somebody.
See, and that's what's wrong with Shauna. They say, when you think, you assume. When you assume.
You make a dead person out of me.
Right. Make you killing people now.
Yeah.
But she assumed that this dude was doing all this crazy stuff.
Yeah. Turns out it was the husband who had taken the journals out and read them because he wanted to know what was going on with his wife and see how he could help. But also he was trying to, like, squander some money to get a deal. He didn't think that she was, so he's the blackmail person. He says that he's gonna take the rap. She's like, no, don't do that. I'm gonna put it all on my friends. So she calls up Taissa and Nat and tells them, help me with this dead body. They're like, are you sure this is even the guy? See through her bullshit kind of pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And decide to help her anyway. Nat apologizes to Misty, who's crazily making best friend conversation with her hostage in the basement, who she thinks is the blackmail person. And Nat's like, Nat doesn't know about the hostage still, but Nat's like, sorry, Misty, you're a good friend. You have skills. Can you help us with this dead body? Misty is intrigued because she's weird. Because she is twisted.
Yeah, Misty's been doing weird shit the whole time, the past 25 years.
Yeah. Taissa's worried about her wife and the whole pressure of the campaign, but also, now she's got, like, dead bodies and blackmail on her. And her son is still, not doing great. So that's all happening in the present. What's happening in the past in the woods is the kids are all like, oh, we're going to have this Doomscoming because it should be like homecoming, but we're here and we're probably going to die in 2 weeks. So let's just have a ball. They've made this like, yes, they made some like berry alcohol. They make this big feast. Misty poisons the feast with magic mushrooms that she was trying to give to Coach.
I couldn't tell if that was intentional or not.
I think she was definitely trying to give the Coach magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
And then they had already added it to the soup, so I think she was just like, I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
I'm not going to say shit.
That's fair. I was like, what? Okay.
So everybody except for Jackie ends up eating. Jackie's not eating. I don't know. She's like depressed because she read her friend's diary or something. Mm-hmm. And she's going to die a virgin. So she's like, no, I'm not going to eat. I'm going to go try to get with Travis. Even though it's going to make Nat really mad and we all have to like die here together. It's not going to be a
Savage.
peaceful death.
Savage. These ladies are worse than the wolves.
They started off as a team. So they have this big party. Everybody is high. Taissa invites Van and makes her a really cute mask because, half her face is chewed off by a wolf. And then they decide that they don't like that Jackie slept with Travis and that Travis doesn't belong to her and that he belongs to them. So like Van and Taissa go do like normal make out teenager stuff and the other girls like decide to like orgy rape
ish, yeah.
Eat Travis. He runs and they see like this elk or deer and then but it's actually him and take off after him in this like bloody rage with like a knife to kill him. They capture him and they're about to slice his throat, but somewhere else off in the woods, Coach and Nat have been high, and Coach is like, love is everything, be yourself, everybody be yourself, go run and get Travis, and that's the key to everything, which actually is, because it stops Travis from getting his throat sliced.
Yeah. It's right on time. Yeah. It's right on time with the same.
Yeah, and also gets to release Jackie, whom they have locked up because she's been bad. Yeah, it was a fun time.
The whole series has been a fun time. So, yeah, I'm really happy to get into the season finale. Yeah, there's definitely, I think they've already secured the season 2 for this show. So, yeah, we're gonna, yeah. Go ahead and get into these questions now. So, you know how we do on Woman Crush. We ask our questions, and our first is always, what was your favorite moment or scene from this particular episode?
My favorite moment was definitely Taissa making the mask for Van. That was so sweet. And she made it like this. She made one for both of them so that they could go as like twins, and it's this like Phantom of the Opera leather leaf thing.
Yeah,
and
little masquerade masks for the ball.
Yeah, and it was so cute. It was heartwarming because Van just looked like she wasn't gonna go. She wasn't gonna go to their little Doomscoming, and it's like, it's a Doomscoming. Like, what is the attire for that party? Like, can't you show up with like saw face? Like, I think that's appropriate, but she didn't want to go, and she was feeling so down, and I think Taissa still blames herself for the fact that like Van almost got eaten by the wolf. But also Taissa really tried to save her, and it was just nice to see her make that gesture, put out that olive branch, like, I care about you and I want you there with me.
That was a very sweet moment. That was a very sweet moment. My favorite moment of this episode was a little bit more risque. It's another moment with Taissa and Van, but I'm nasty. You know what? I need help, y'all. But you know what? I really appreciated their little lovemaking scene, and also in that moment when they're in this intimate space, Taissa is like, take your mask off. I want to see your face. Yeah. She wanted to see her lover's face, and that was just very sweet and beautiful. So yeah, that was my favorite moment of this episode.
That's so beautiful. I didn't even think about it, but yeah, she like offered her the mask like because you feel insecure, but then asked to take the mask away because like, I don't want you to be insecure with me. Yeah, it was really beautiful and sweet. She told her how beautiful she was, even though she got her face chewed off because of her. And, it made everything right. Yeah. Taissa really needs to learn how to not sleepwalk.
Yo, yeah, Taissa.
That's the source.
Poor girl.
I mean, the plane crash is also the source. Yeah. But, can't do it.
Oh, you know what? I did mention when in the whole recap that Misty, like, destroyed their, like, box or whatever the, like, finder box.
Oh yeah, that's the crazy part about Misty.
Like
the
transmitter. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I'm not
the black box.
There we go. What she said. I was about to defend myself because I'm like, look, I don't fly planes, goddamn. Okay, I talk about shows. Okay,
but that thing that they need to find you.
Yes, Misty destroyed that bitch. So
day
off
one,
rip, we're like, okay, Misty's crazy. And,
yeah,
it was like,
and chopped the coach's leg off. I mean, his leg
I
maybe needed to be severed, but we don't know. Like, a piece of the plane landed on it, and they were able to move it off. Like, these just like powerful ass girls, awesome. Lifted that plane piece off, and we don't know if his leg needed to be cut off, but we do know Misty chopped that bitch off.
Okay. We know that, okay? Misty cut that
and then soldered it, and she was just crazy. And everybody was like, I guess that was what was necessary, because she acted like she has all this training. Anyway.
Yeah, the coach was knocked out, so he didn't even know what was happening.
Yeah.
He just had to accept the news that he didn't have a leg anymore.
Yeah.
Misty crazy.
Anyway, who was your woman crush?
All right, so I mean, just from the favorite scene, my woman crush on this episode goes to young Taissa.
Yeah.
I think she was just awesome and beautiful in this episode, and yeah, just a real sweetheart.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was like, older Taissa is she hella problematic. Mm-hmm. She's hella problematic, but young Taissa is just like, yeah, boss, just living for herself. Determined to survive, determined not to let her spirit break, and still finding room for love, making room for love. And what else can you do?
You know what? Also, shout out young Taissa in this episode, because they kind of like, Taissa and Van like come out to everybody in this episode with their relationship.
It was like the come out episode, because Coach does too.
Yeah. So shout out the coming out episode in the woods. That was a beautiful moment.
Yes.
Okay, so what can stay and what can go?
What can stay is definitely Van and Taissa. That can definitely stay.
Fans of that.
I really, until they started trying to tear Travis apart, I was really impressed with the way that all the teammates have been really working together, especially after going out into the woods with Taissa and encountering the wolf and coming back sort of defeated. They could have just, argued with each other, but they found a way. And they found some food and found this party together, and then it just turned. So that can go. I don't know why you shouldn't do mushrooms when you're not in a good place.
Yeah, they're all in a terrible place, and yeah.
You shouldn't do that.
That's
because
what they say. That's like the first rule of shrooms. Don't trip when you are tripping. Like, no. Don't do that. And this is what Misty got.
Yeah.
Misty.
Misty can go. Okay, one more thing that can go is, it might be two more things that can go. Shauna pinning everything on her friends. Shauna, it's been 25 years of secrecy between y'all. You ain't said nothing. And then you come, her boo did put himself out there. He's being a stand-up guy. He is Jeff is ride or die for Shauna. But what can go, Shauna, is you putting this on Taissa and Nat. That's BS. That's messy.
The murder of the boyfriend.
And trying to pin him as the blackmail. Like, she should have just been like, I murdered my boyfriend. Can y'all help me?
Yeah.
And I think they would have helped.
Yeah.
Maybe not Taissa, but Nat would have helped. Story. Yeah. But the last thing that can go is dudes and their response to sex. And he was on shrooms, but the fact that he was like, we disappeared. What happened? Where am I? I just thought that was a funny metaphor for how some people be out here in the world.
That's fair.
All right, what can stay and go for you?
All right, so kind of like what you were saying in terms of the ladies on the team, what can stay is just like their strength and resilience. I think I love seeing this soccer team, this girls soccer team that has survived this crazy catastrophe and are making it happen. Like, they are finding food, they have found shelter, they are killing animals, they are cooking up, they are building fires, they are throwing parties, they are getting drunk off of wine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're also starving.
They are starving,
but they still making it work. Yeah, they are.
A homegirl was about to have an abortion. You know what I'm saying? Like, these girls are.
This is like feminist. Yeah,
they're doing so much. Like, they are really taking care of themselves and doing what is necessary. So I'm like, I love seeing that. I love the fact that is the plot line.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. What can go? So that moment when they were tripping off the shrooms and Travis became the stag or whatever, and they went off on this chase to murder him, like that was super weird.
It was so weird.
I was like, what?
Lottie was the source of that.
Yo, yeah, Lottie weird ass. You know, we need a Laura Lee her dog. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like Lottie bringing the energy down.
She talking about we won't be hungry much longer.
Yeah, like, and then that, like the sex cannibalism thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did they all go crazy? Like, I don't understand why they all were like.
Well, I couldn't
under the
tell
same
if it was
spell.
like, I feel like they were all like, get him, devour him, but I don't know if they were actually eating him or if I mean, I don't think they were actually biting him, but I think Travis was interpreting it as like, you are so hungry for me, you want to eat me.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they were just gonna like all try to have sex with him.
Weird, yeah.
It was
That
still
could go.
weird.
Can't relate, can't compute.
Yeah, but
They're
somebody
not right.
did bite his lip, and they looked a little too happy about that.
And then, yeah. I was gonna go into like the skin stretching. And
Okay, it
was
does
just-
get a little gory.
It was a little weird. But yeah, that can go.
Yeah.
So, last question: queer canon. Where does it fit for you?
Oh man. First of all, just like the survival, the determination to like, I'm going to live and I'm going to love, from Coach, from Taissa, really from all the teammates, but to just see that, those two queer characters especially, and to see Taissa continue to be determined to survive. I love that. And seeing this on the show, and I love that her only trait is not that she has a wife and a son. You know, she also has her career. She also has these past friendships that she's trying to rekindle. And she also has this past that she's trying to reckon with. So just really well-rounded characters.
Nice. I think I mean I totally agree with the Taissa stance. I do feel like, you know, we kind of mentioned, we had a little pre-conversation about Taissa's archetype.
Yes.
And I feel like when we talk about queer canon, it's crazy that we have concluded that there's kind of like a archetype, like this strong femme boss bitch who's like trying to run the city. You
Yeah.
know, she's also typically biracial, with the wavy hair,
Yeah.
but there's a character, there's a thing.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
Taissa, how much she reminds us of a Bet Porter,
Yeah.
you know, or, you know, we just finished watching 20s and like an Ida B character, you know,
A Love Tale we watched, like a Candace Montgomery.
yeah, original
Yeah.
Love Tale,
Yeah.
like, yeah, these characters that are these powerful women who, are just, you know, taking charge and doing what they want and just being really bossy. So I do think that's interesting. I feel like Yellowjackets kind of fits into that. You know, it makes me realize that where does that fit in the queer canon? Is that like characters like this exist, and we
Yeah.
are seeing more and more of them,
Yeah.
and we're seeing them in these light horror, film-centered, you know, series. You know, so
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
It is. I feel like the power lesbian has always existed, but to have this many Black and biracial women in this role, to be able to have an archetype
Right.
amongst like
Yeah.
Black content is really cool, and really makes me feel like all the things that I wanted as a kid, like all these reflections are starting to really form. And it's really dope.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the season finale of this show. It's been keeping me on my toes. It brings all those little things that I like. I love survival stories. So seeing who emerges as the leader, who's going to be the medic, who's going to come in and like make peace, who's going to keep the hope. Like, I love all that, and this show brings it, but then it adds like murder mystery and a little gore and a little cultism,
Right.
and a little drug use.
You know, it's a little gumbo.
It's a little everything,
It's
a
a
little
gumbo.
affair, a little like everything. It's fun.
Yeah, it is though. It is a really, really fun show, and I'd say, like, I feel like I recommend the show watch it.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, it's on Showtime. And yeah, I mean, that's it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that the next time y'all check in with us, you've already like caught up and we can talk about season 10 together.
Episode 10.
I mean, I'm sorry, thank you. I'm tripping. Episode 10, season 1, season finale together. Bada boom, bada bam.
Boom.
So yeah.
Until next time, y'all.
Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.